Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. As per the usual, I am Cabal. As Cabal. Greetings and salutations, and welcome back. As you can see, we are unboxing more of some of my decks from way back in the day, and showing you off some of the other stuff while I wait to get some more stuff to actually unbox. So we're still going to back in some like these next few decks coming up. They're very early builds, so they have been horrifically modified. Or no, actually they weren't. They should be updated since then, but I haven't touched them because I don't play these particular deck styles anymore. But I did build them at some point. The next one up is going to be my Street Green Mono Elf deck, which is a bit different due to the fact that it's only one color in elves, and since then elves have been really worked better together with other colors, but at the time I was young and this is how I built it. So without further ado, if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe to the channel, look at a bunch of other stuff, and then like the video. So first up we'll have Llanowar Elves, 1-drop, 1/1, 1 green, a tap, add 1 green to your mana pool. Classic. We have a Taunting Elf, 0/1, 1 green, 1-drop. Elf. All creatures able to block Taunting Elf, do so. We have a Stonewood Invoker, 2-drop, 2/2, Elf Mutant, 1 colorless, 1 green. Tap 8, Stonewood Invoker gets +5 and +5 until end of turn. Then we have a Stormseeker, 4-drop, instant. Stormseeker deals 1 damage to target player for each card in his or her hand. Then we have a Wormuskin Forger. 7-drop, 2/2. When Wormuskin Forger comes into play, distribute 3/1/1 counters among any number of target creatures. Expensive, but granted, that could be a game changer down the road. Like combined with, I don't know, Wirewood Guardian. So 7-drop, 6/6, Forest Cycling. Discard this card, put this discard this card from your hand, search your library for a forest card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. But it's a 6/6, 7-drop, 6/6 Elf Mutant. Next up we have the Liz Alana Huntmaster, 4-drop, 3/3 Elf Warrior, 2 colorless, 2 green. Whenever you play an elf spell, you may put a 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature token into play. Next up we have a Fierce Empath, 3-drop, 1/1 Elf, 2 colorless, 1 green. When Fierce Empath comes into play, you search your library for a creature card with mana cost 6 or more, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Next up we have the Seeker of Skybreak, 2-drop, 2/1, 1 colorless, 1 green. Tap untap target creature. Next up we have the Vidarian Betrayers, 3-drop, 3/1 Elf Warrior, 1 colorless, 2 green. When the Vidarian Betrayers has Infect as long as an opponent is poisoned. That was when they were doing Infect counters, which deal their damage and -1/-1 counters to each player in the form of poison counters. So each player would lose and get to negative 10 poison counters, they die. Next up we have the Elvish Aberration, 6-drop, 4/5 Elf Mutant, 6-drop. Tap, add 3 forest to your mana pool, Forest Cycling for 2. Then we have a Revive, 2-drop sorcery, return target green card from your graveyard to your hand. Next up we have a Series Remembrance, 1-drop sorcery, 1 green. Shuffle Series Remembers and up to 3 target cards from a single graveyard into their owner's libraries. And we have a Forest. We have a Slippery Cast. Slippery Casting will be tapped. Tap, add a green to your mana pool, cycling. 2 more, 3, 4 more forests. Then we have a Tribal Force Mage, 2-drop, 1/1, 1 colorless, 1 green. Elf Wizard, Morph. When Tribal Force Mages turn face up, creatures of the type of your choice get +2/+2 and gains Trample until end of turn. It's got a morph cost of 2. Next up, we have the Kraken. X to Forest, Summon Beast, 0/0. Kraken comes into play with X 1/1 counters on it. So tap 1 green, 1 colorless, 1 green, regenerate the Kraken. So next up we have Harmonize, 4-drop, 2 colorless, 2 green, draw 3 cards. Next up we have Stormfront, 1 drop, 1 green, enchantment. Tap 2 green, tap target creature with flying. Next up we have Predatory Focus, 5-drop, sorcery, 3 colorless, 2 green. You may have creatures you control deal their combat damage to defending player this turn as though they weren't blocked. So that is very broken and very fun when you got a bunch of beat sticks. We have Silverglade Elemental, 5-drop, 4/4, 4 colorless, 1 green. Elemental, when Silverglade Elemental comes into play, you search your library for a forest card, review, put that card into play. If you do, shuffle your library. And one of the jokes that Kadamas reach around. 2-drop, 2 colorless, 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 green. Search your library for 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put 1 into play tapped and the other in your hand, then shuffle your library. Next up, we have the Rite of Spring, 2-drop, sorcery, 1 colorless, 1 green. Discard any number of cards from your hand, search your library for that many basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put that into your hand, then shuffle your library. Next up, we have the Ranger's Path, 4-drop, sorcery, search your library for up to 2 forest cards, put them onto the battlefield and tapped, then shuffle your library. Next up, we have Llanowar Elves, 1-drop, Elves, 1 green, 2/2, 0/1. Tap, add green to your mana pool. Only play this ability as an interrupt. Next up, we have 1 Dozen Eyes, 6-drop, sorcery. Choose 1, put a 5/5 green beast creature token into play, or put 5 1/1 green insect creatures tokens into play with an untwined cost for all 3 to do both abilities. Next up, we have a Skyshroud Elf, 2-drop, 1/1, 1 colorless, 1 green, summon elf. Tap, add green to your mana pool, play this ability as a mana source, or pay 1, add white or red to your mana pool, play this ability as a mana source. Next up, we have Crop Rotation, 1-drop instant. Anytime you play Crop Rotation, sack a land, search your library for a land card, and put that land into play, shuffle your library. So the ones that are not focusing, there's a couple of dual lands in here that somehow got misplaced, but that's what feeds majority of the forest cycling and or other things. Next up, we have the Thornwind Archers. 2/1 Elf Ranger, reach, Death Touch. Reach has this can block creatures with flying. Death Touch, whenever this creature's damage is dealt to a creature, destroy that creature. Excuse me. Next up, we have the Verdant Harvest, 3-drop, Elemental, Aura, 2 colorless, 1 green, Enchantment Aura, Enchant Land. This when the Verdant Haven enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Whenever Enchanted Land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any color to his or her mana pool. Next up, we have Wildwood Rebirth, 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 green. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Next up, we have Lush Growth, 1-drop, Enchant Land. Enchant Land is a mountain, forest, and plains. Next up, we have an Urban Burgeoning, 1-drop, Enchantment Aura, 1 green. Enchant Land. Enchant Land has untapped this land during each other player's upkeep. So if you have a land that is doing damage to you on their side, just keep it tapped. Next up, we have the Venomous Vines, 4-drop, sorcery, 2 colorless, 2 green. Sorcery, destroy target enchanted permanent. Next up, we have the Seal of Panorium, 2-drop, 1 white, 1 colorless, 1 green, enchantment. Sack Seal of Panorium, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Then we have Alpha Status, 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 green, enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 for each other creature in play that shares a creature type. Next up, we have the Wirewood Symbiote. 1 drop, insect, 1 green, 1/1. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Play this ability only once each turn. So with all the ones throwing your damage, the best way to make it work. Next up, we have the Bloodline Shaman. 2 drop. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1/1 elf wizard. Tap, choose a creature type. Reveal the top card of your library. If that creature is a creature. Blah. If that card is a creature card of the chosen type, put it into your hand. Otherwise, put it into your graveyard. Next up, we have Elvish Warrior. 2 drop. Elvish elf. 2 green, 2/3. Nothing too fancy, just an elf there. Another warrior. Another Bloodline Shaman. Another alpha status. Another Bloodline. Forest. Another forest. Well-Wisher. 2 drop. Elf. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1/1. Tap, gain 1 life for each elf in play. Another Elvish Warrior. Another Symbiote. And the core of this deck, the Heedless One. 4 drop. Elf Avatar, 3 colorless, 1 green. Trample. Heedless One has power and toughness equal to the number of elves in play. Another forest, another forest, another forest. Another Bloodline, another forest. Another Well-Wisher. Another forest. Another forest. We have Cockatrice in here. 5 drop, 2/4, 3 colorless, 2 green. Flying. When Cockatrice blocks or is blocked by any non-wall creature, destroy that creature at end of combat. We have Elf Warrior. And to finish off this, we have the Songs of Serenity. 2 drop enchantment, play 1 colorless, 1 green. Creatures with any enchantments other on them cannot attack or block. So that brings us down to my very early-ish elf deck that it seemed it works, but like I said, the concept was Heedless One, then built around it. So that'll bring us to the end. I think you all for coming back out to the channel, and until next time, this is Cobble saying, have a good night, and we shall see you in the next